Have you ever wondered why some of America's most iconic states are facing a rapid decline in population? While the nation as a whole is experiencing growth, certain states are witnessing an alarming exodus. What could possibly drive people away from places that once thrived? In this video, we'll explore the 10 fastest dying states in the United States, uncovering the shocking reasons behind their decline and the challenges residents face. Buckle up. This might change how you view these states forever. From 2021 to 2022, New York lost approximately 80,000 residents, while California saw a drop of nearly 39,000. How can this happen in a country known for its opportunities? These numbers represent more than just statistics. They signify families uprooting their lives in search of better futures. What are the underlying issues prompting such drastic measures? Let's start with the high cost of living, which is a significant factor driving people away. States like California, Oregon, Hawaii, and New York are notorious for their unaffordable housing markets. Did you know that California's average home price is over $800,000? This staggering figure forces many to reconsider their living situations. In fact, according to a report by the U.S. Census Bureau, nearly 38 million people left California in recent years due to these financial strains. What does it say about a state when even its celebrities like Elon Musk decide to relocate their businesses elsewhere? The allure of California is fading fast. Next on our list are economic challenges. States like Mississippi and West Virginia are grappling with high unemployment rates and limited job opportunities. In Mississippi alone, the unemployment rate hovers around 5%, significantly affecting local economies. How can residents thrive when jobs are scarce? The Bureau of Labor Statistics highlights that many families in these states struggle to make ends meet. With stagnant wages and rising costs, it's no wonder people are seeking greener pastures elsewhere. The culmination of high costs, economic struggles, and poor infrastructure results in an overall decline in quality of life. A survey by Gallup found that nearly 60% of residents in declining states express dissatisfaction with their living conditions. What does this tell us about the American dream? Are we witnessing its slow demise? Here, we have brought the top 10 fastest dying states in the United States that are getting worse at an alarming rate, and if you're planning to move there, it's your sign to back off. Now this video will tell you why, without wasting any more time. Let's dive in. California. Let's take a closer look at California. Often seen as the land of dreams, but now facing harsh realities. With its beautiful beaches and thriving entertainment industry, why are so many leaving? The answer lies in unaffordable living expenses and an increasing homeless population. As reported by the Los Angeles Times, over 160,000 people experience homelessness in California alone. How can a state so wealthy allow such disparity? The state's allure is waning as more residents seek affordable alternatives elsewhere. California, the famous and untimely state of the United States. California might be a fascination for travelers, but the same cannot be said for the natives. Gone are the days of technology booms and gold rush when California used to see growth like never before. Now, the state is in water with a highly unsustainable lifestyle nobody can afford easily. As of 2023, almost 389,651. 93 people left California, which makes around 0.2% drop in population as compared to 2022. One of the major factors causing this rapid loss of population is the cost of living and its crumbling infrastructure. It's not only about expensive housing and bills. In fact, all the other necessities like groceries, transportation, and health are just beyond unaffordable for people living there besides ordinary natives. It's also not a good spot for business owners either. From 2018 to 2022, almost 352 businesses relocated from California to other states. The horrible future of California says it all, why you should never choose California as your happy living state. Pennsylvania. Now let's shift our focus to Pennsylvania, the hub of natural resources like coal and gas. Pennsylvania is losing its spark and reputation at the hands of high taxes and lack of fiscal stability. From 2021 to 2022, the state lost 0.32% population as people migrated from big cities of Pennsylvania like Philadelphia to other states with more stability. However, other reasons place Pennsylvania in a not-so-good phase. The state has a 7.4 unemployment rate, causing a serious rise in jobless people. Things had not always been so bleak for the state. In fact, it was once the land of opportunities and jobs, but now the rapid rise of governmental taxes and bills has been a pain in the natives. All these factors work together to make the state a poor place in the U.S., especially the people living in the Appalachian Mountains, and northern parts are dirt poor. For all those who have jobs, their salaries are even below the average median income of $61,744. So if your goal is to move to a state just to earn a handsome lifestyle, Pennsylvania might give you a tough time. Oregon. Oregon is home to scenic landscapes, lush green fields, and staggering views of coastlines and mountains. Sadly, the state is not as perfect as it seems to be. Yes, beauty is not less than a paradise, but beauty is not enough for a good lifestyle. From 2021 to 2022, about 0.38% of people left Oregon at a rapid rate. Part of the reason is Oregon's over-the-moon prices and unaffordable housing. The people living there spend a massive percentage of their income on housing among the 100% population. Only 25% of households can afford the cost of buying a new home. Besides, Oregon shares some unpopular and strange policies that sometimes put the Oregonians in a troubling situation. For instance, as the state uses cuts to police policy, people are unable to financially make ends meet while living in Oregon. That's why most of them are moving to Texas and other parts of the U.S. where housing is affordable and expenses are low. Rhode Island. Famous for historical significance, tourist sites, and deep ties with water, Rhode Island just stepped onto the list of rapidly dying states in the U.S. Just like many other declining states, Rhode Island, too, is beyond unaffordable for the natives. The state faced a massive decline of 0.3% in population between 2021 and 2022. It is a huge number for the island, as it is the U.S.'s smallest state among all. No doubt the state offers a diverse and appealing living experience, but nobody can afford to cherish it. A median house is worth around $462,100, which is 30% of the average person's income, making it 133% higher than the national average. Moreover, the state is really bad at economic growth. It is not at all a good option to choose to start small businesses. It is a flop under such conditions. So if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, maybe you can have some good days in Rhode Island. But after that, you need to migrate to another state to earn what you spent on the island in some days. Mississippi. Mississippi, where the world has reached the moon. Mississippi seems to stay still, in time with the least modifications and improvements of facilities and infrastructure. Recently, the state has faced a decline of 0.32%, which makes around 9,500 people, but for a state with a total of 2.99 million people. 9,500 in a year is still a big number. One of the major reasons making people leave Mississippi at a higher rate is the lack of facilities, technology, and resources. Above all, the low income rates that don't meet the standards for a good living are what make people frustrated about living there. The increasing poverty and poor economic rate are now getting beyond the limits of the natives, with a poverty rate of 19.4%. The country ranks Mississippi as the second poorest state at the start of the year. The poverty rate was 12.8%, and it increased to a higher rate within the same year. That's more than alarming for the frustrated natives. Moreover, the average median income of a family of 4 people is around only $74,000, just like the state's rank in the poverty list. It secures the second worst economic state position among all the other states in the U.S. The natives are literally fed up with the lack of quality schools and affordable health care. Hawaii. Hawaii, a beautiful beach destination for tourists coming from all around the globe, is no longer a happy place for many natives. The state lost a staggering 0.48% of its population, equivalent to 7,000 people recently. One of the major reasons for the rapid decline of the state is unaffordable housing and other necessities of life. In fact, Hawaii is the country's top state with high cost of living. The average living index of Hawaii is a staggering 179 compared to the U.S. average of 100. Not only that, the state ranked high in groceries, transportation, and health services. However, it ranked immensely high in housing with an average index of a shocking 309. Louisiana. Louisiana, the rich and fascinating blend of French, Spanish, and African culture, is not on good terms with the natives. The poor state lost 37,000 people in the recent years, making the percentage of 0.8. Sadly, the state seems to be on the same ground as Mississippi, having an extreme poverty rate of 19.6%. Or we can say every 1 of 5 people is poor in Louisiana. The major loss to the state was due to fewer work opportunities, giving a boost to high unemployment rates. It also affected the economy of the state, and it seems to be suffering since 2010. Now it's 2025, almost 15 years, but the state doesn't seem to improve anyway. It has become poorer over the years. West Virginia. West Virginia, or the Mountain State, lost around 0.84 of its population in the recent years. It makes almost 10,000 people move out of the state to find a better lifestyle elsewhere. The state only consists of 1.78 million population. Still, it is not a perfect place for the natives. What can be the reason behind this? The state is good at some points as compared to the other declining spots of the U.S. For instance, West Virginia has the lowest cost of living, and that's what people usually look for. But there's one reason making people relocate is the state's worst economy. The U.S. ranked West Virginia as the 4th worst economic state among all the others in the country. Moreover, the state lacks good job opportunities, leaving youth jobless. Then what's the use of the lowest living cost, even if you do not have a job, with not even the lowest income? These facts place the state as the 4th poorest state in the U.S. Just like Mississippi, West Virginia is not a nice place to raise a family. Especially, the children who do not have access to quality schools and sound education. Seems like the 10,000 immigrants had enough reasons to move. Illinois. The home to the cultural heart of the U.S. Chicago, Illinois, is at its worst stage with around 0.82% loss of population. In recent years, this percentage converts into a staggering 104,000 people, which is a massive number. Most of these residents move from Chicago, as compared to the other metropolitan cities around the state. Almost 39% of people leaving Chicago are the reason for the city being high taxes and expensive lifestyle. But that is not the only reason for people leaving Chicago. Particularly, as the other cities share the same grounds on expensive taxes and high-cost living, the state has the second highest property tax rates in the U.S. The state is not a stable place to reside or manage your day-to-day living under budget. New York. The Empire State of New York, with several significant places and enmities including the Liberty Statue, is on the edge right now. This state faced the biggest population loss of all time, which sent shivers down the U.S. spine. As of the reports, New York lost 0.91% of its population from 2021 to 2022, which is equivalent to 80,000 people, as can be guessed. The major reason behind this massive decline is the state's highest tax rates. The state shares a total tax burden of 12.47%, which makes it the highest tax burden state in the entire country. If we compare this tax burden to the lowest tax burden state, Alaska, it is only 5% besides taxes. The cost of living in New York is nevertheless higher, with an immense index of 125. Also, the housing index is 173, which is 73 times more than the median national limit of 100 index. Rent is also expensive, making it the second highest rental state after Hawaii. Renting one room in New York cost around $1,678, which is way too much. Most people moving from New York are up to the remote work, so they are not particularly concerned with their jobs and earnings. However, the expenses of living in New York are what made them worry. In fact, as of 2020, the total workforce in New York decreased at a higher rate. As most people opted for remote opportunities by 2021, the state already initiated a population decline, and the years after were not too good for New York, even though the U.S. is the dream destination for many people residing around the globe. As we wrap up our exploration into these 10 fastest dying states, it's clear that high costs, poor economies, and inadequate infrastructure create a perfect storm driving residents away. What does this mean for America as a whole? Are we witnessing an irreversible trend that could reshape our nation's landscape? The decline of these states not only affects local communities, but also poses significant challenges for the entire country. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts below. What do you think will happen next for these states? Until next time.